Hi, everybody. I'd like to welcome you back to the Surrender with Grace interview series. I am really excited today to introduce Evan Carmichael, who's joining us on this series. Welcome, Evan.
Thank you for the love. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's really awesome to have you. Evan, tell us a little bit about your journey. What inspired you to do the amazing work that you do today?
So I'm a big believer that your purpose comes from your pain. And when I was getting started as an entrepreneur, I did it because I didn't want to feel regret. I make a lot of my decisions in life. What will I regret if I don't do it? So I have to go off and do it. And I became an entrepreneur and struggled mightily. Felt ashamed, felt embarrassed, felt just like a total failure because I wasn't getting results right away in my company. I was making $300 a month. I turned down, 100K a year jobs to do this thing to make $300 a month. Just felt worthless, and eventually figured my way through it, my entrepreneurial path, and had success and sold my business. But my I still believe your purpose comes from your pain, and my pain of struggling through the world of entrepreneurship then became my drive to help other entrepreneurs out so that they didn't have to face the same fate, the same suffering, the same self-hate that I felt growing up. And so that's where I'm at today.
Wow. And so thank you for sharing that with us. So when you talk about the self-hate, did that come from you? Was that purely just through going into adulthood and wanting to create something amazing, that your disappointment in yourself, or was it other factors?
It came as a result of not getting results. Everything else that I had tried, if I put effort in, I would get results, whether it was piano or sports or anything, my academics. If I didn't put in the effort, I didn't expect to get results. So that was fine. But here I was working on my business a lot, putting in work every day, trying to get better all day long, not hanging out with friends, just trying to build my company up. And I wasn't getting results. Um, I couldn't break out of my situation. And I think what compounded on top of it was I was too embarrassed to tell my friends that I wasn't having success. I went inward, and I likely would have had their support if I'm being honest now. If I said, guys, listen, I can't afford that $20 to go out and have pizza and beer. Like, can we stay in? But instead, I was going, I'm living the entrepreneur lifestyle. I'm just too busy right now, guys. Sorry, I can't make it. And I just internalized everything instead of asking for help and just sharing what I was going through. And so I think I made it worse. So those two things that shifted later on in my life of one, not tying my self-worth to the results, but to the process, tying my self-worth to the work that I'm doing daily, whether it works or not. Because if you keep, eventually it will work out. And then two, not worrying so much about other people's opinions and expectations, and just doing the thing that I want to do, and stop being so controlled by judgment of other people. And so that took years to unpack and figure out, but helped me have the success that I've had as an entrepreneur today.
Yeah, it's amazing that kind of drive as an entrepreneur that we have. No, it's to keep getting back up there and just going from strength to strength. It never goes away. That I don't believe that drive. Um, so Evan, tell me, did you in your younger years did you have a mentor? Did you have someone that you looked up to, that you aspired to, that was that incredible example of, a parent or a friend or someone that you looked up to, or was this totally come from you?
So my greatest mentors are my parents. I have a picture on my wall behind me. If you look, that's me when I'm 8 or 9 years old, and those are my parents. And they taught me believe. My one word is believe. I've got it here on my shirt today. They basically told me that I was Evan Castrilli Carmichael. I could do anything that I wanted. And any time that I suffered or struggled or wasn't getting results, that would be the conversation that they reminded me about. And they didn't teach me about entrepreneurship. Their background is not business. They're not entrepreneurial minded, but they taught me how to be a human being. They taught me self-worth. They taught me how to treat people. They taught me values. And so I've carried that forward into my business, into my relationships, into my life. And then from there, I picked up different pieces from different people. For anybody watching who's familiar with my YouTube channel, I do a lot of profiles of different successful people from all walks of life, not just entrepreneurs, but athletes and spiritual leaders and all walks of life. And I love learning from people, even if I hate that person. If I can find one thing about somebody that I can learn from, I think it actually breeds tolerance. You know, I've got Steve Jobs up on the wall here beside me. There's a lot you can learn from Steve Jobs in terms of being a visionary and building a business, but I don't want to be a father like Steve Jobs. You know, that's not the parent that I aspire to be. And so in recognizing that, I think there is no one person who can be your mentor for everything, because you just become a photocopy of that person. Where if you can learn from different people, especially when you can learn from somebody who you don't like, but there's one thing from them that they can teach you, I think that ultimately helps you become the person that you want to be. And you end up finding multiple mentors to guide you in your life.
All right, that's awesome. That's a really awesome way of looking at it. And so you briefly touched on the 10 series. I love your 10 series. Tell the audience a little bit about that for people who've not yet come across.
Sure. I've got a series that comes out 5 times a week called the Top 10 Rules of Success. And what I do is every day break down somebody who's had success, and success defined in multiple ways, not just a rich person. And I look at some of the things that they did and some of their advice to help you get to where you want to go, to help you accomplish your goals. It's always through a positive lens. It's always in a, believe is my one word. It's always through the lens of believe. And it's given advice from different people every single day. There are 10 rules. And what we do is basically comb through 4 to 6 to 8 to 20 to 40 hours of research, and then combine that down into a 10, 15, 20-minute video of the best nuggets to help you have some knowledge to achieve success on your own terms.
Wow, and it's really, really great. So that's a lot of time that you put into that as well, which is just awesome. I mean, that's a lot of time, and no, it's a really cool series. I love it, and interesting, like you say as well, that you've done the 10 roles of the people that are not necessarily the ideal all round, but they're best tips and rules. So it's a really awesome series. And also, I noticed what's great about that is that you have an interaction with the audience. You ask people to vote and leave comments and things. That's really cool too. And are you doing that often? Did you say 5 times a week? So you're always working on doing more and more for new inspiration.
So we do 3 videos a day on the YouTube channel, and so that's 21 in a week, and from the week will be the top 10 series. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I have a team too. It's not just me. I started off as a solo person, and then I built it up. So I've got a team of people who help me with my YouTube channel. So it's definitely a group effort.
Yeah, it's great, and going to make extraordinary content for everyone. It really is. So tell us then a little bit about your Believe concept, and also about the you have the circle. Here we go, circle of potential. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem. I think the world's biggest problem is untapped human potential. I think most people are just doing the wrong thing. I think everybody has the ability to have Michael Jordan level talent at something, but they're not doing it. One, because they never tried. Like, I think cancer should have been solved by now. I think the woman who would have solved cancer is a manager at some accounting company, because she never took biology. Either that, or because she didn't believe in herself enough to continue on the biology path and went to go take the safe route and become an accountant. And so I think everybody has the ability to have that kind of talent and impact. And I think that's ultimately where your happiness will come from, feeling like the work you're doing, your life has meaning, you're impacting others. I think humans are built to serve. I think if you're not happy in your life, you're not serving enough, you're not helping others enough. And so that's my mission. That's the mission that I'm on. It starts with self-awareness as the first piece. So of the circle of potential, and piece number one is self-awareness. And a lot of that comes down to figuring out what your one word is. I believe everybody has one most important core value as a human. And if you can figure out what that is, then your life starts to make sense of what has happened to you in the past. And then it gives you the roadmap to go forward. And so for me, believe is my one word. Once I figured that out, everything else started to come together. My business started to take off. My relationship did well. Everything just made more sense because I got a better sense of who I was. And I think a lot of people, their life doesn't have to be necessarily terrible, but they know that there's another level that they haven't tapped into. And I think that starts with figuring out who you are and at the core, what your most important core value is.
That's really cool. I really like that kind of beginning. And how do you work with people then, Evan, in terms of building that and creating that? Because obviously if our audience today, for several reasons, I believe they're here, they're watching the series. For those people that really are at the beginning of a new path, how would you, who possibly want to entrepreneurship and set up their own business and just move forward, like really start finding their purpose in life, how do you support people in that way? How do you work with people to achieving that and being the greatest person that they can?
So I don't do coaching or one-on-one sessions. I do a lot through mass, so through my books or through the videos. Um, if somebody's struggling to figure out their purpose, I would look at a couple things. One, I would realize that your purpose comes from your pain, like we've talked about, that the pain that you're suffering, the pain that you are either going through right now or have been through in the past is actually the path forward. A lot of people try to hide from their past and shut down the pain. And especially I see the world as, I'm a very optimistic person that everything is going to be better. I'm on board with Team Human. I love where we're going. Recognizing that the past pain and trauma that you've been through is your chance to serve and give back and help others. Whatever you're going through right now, if you have figured it out and you've gone through it and you have some solutions that have helped you cope with it, that is a fantastic opportunity to have meaning to then help people who are currently going through it right now, and they can benefit from your experience and wisdom. One of the great reasons why Alcoholics Anonymous works is because one of the steps is you must become somebody else's mentor. For the change to stick, you have to give back and help others. And so whatever pain or struggle or challenge that you have been through, you have the ability to help others. And I think that's where the core of your fulfillment, your happiness, your purpose will come from. If you haven't figured it out, if you don't know what the answer is yet, if you're still dealing with the pain and the suffering and the struggle, just showing your journey is courageous. Just showing that you're depressed or you're angry or you're upset or you're struggling with this, just being willing to share that is courageous, is a shield for other people, is a source of inspiration. So you may not have all the answers yet, which is okay, but just showing that you are trying to figure it out is inspiration to somebody else who is currently dealing with it. And them following along with your journey will give you extra hope and extra strength behind you. And so leaning in on the pain, not as a negative spot, not as a, I'm never going to figure this out and my life is over, but leaning in on the pain as a source of inspiration to help other people. So that if you think of like, what is the thing that you've been through that you want no human being ever to have to go through in their life, and then being that positive source, I think when you figure that out, it just brings so much value, self-worth, positivity, happiness, and fulfillment to your life.
I 100% agree, and that's exactly been my experience. Absolutely. And so, yeah, 100% that it's there. The answers are already there with us. It's about having compassion for that and just realizing that it is about paying it forward. It is. I think there's so much to be said in that giving and looking outward focus rather than moving forward, rather than always looking at ourselves. So, so how? What are you doing at the moment then? You have your regular work that you're doing, which is a lot. What are your plans? Where do you intend to go from here? What do you want to do next? And what are your hopes? And do you want to do more, some public speaking or writing? What are your hopes?
Kind of a weird bird in this respect. I have my lifetime goal of what I'm trying to accomplish that will never happen. I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem. It's never going to happen in my lifetime, but it's my mission that I'm on. And then I have kind of what I'm doing for the next couple months. I don't know. I don't, people ask who we're going to be in 5 years. I have no idea. If you know where you're going to be in 5 years, you're thinking small. You're cheating yourself. To know the kind of person you're going to be in 5 years and what you're capable of, I think is thinking. And so I know what I'm doing for the next couple months. I know what my mission is, and then everything else in between, I kind of figure out as we go. You talk about books. 5 years ago, I would have said, I don't want to write a book. That's crazy. I don't need a book. I've got my YouTube channel. I'm building that up. I don't want to write a book. And I am 2 years later, or 5 years later, with 2 books, one self-published and one published with Penguin Random House. So will I write another book? I don't know. Maybe, with an open mind. It's not on my immediate radar right now, but I don't want to close off that possibility, because that may be the next best platform for me to launch after the next 3 months.
Right. Yeah, sure. And yeah, so you think that little goals is the way ahead, and also then being in the present moment. You have got a lot going on every day of the week, so just being present with that, I guess, having small goals to aim for every couple of months ahead, like you say, is enough. And do you do then any public appearances or speaking, things like that? And do you get to travel at all with work?
So that is a function of my family and my life. I used to do a lot of speaking. I used to do a lot of traveling. My wife missed me terribly. She gets separation anxiety. And so as a result, I haven't done as much speaking. It's got to be a really important cause for me to want to go, beyond just, hey, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars and your trip and all that. That's not interesting. But if it's for a specific cause that I care about, then I'll go. So I have to really pick and choose. That being said, I'm looking at doing a tour in coming up with my wife coming with me. So she's going to take a leave to come and do a 23 city tour in the US. So that should be fun. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. 3 months of 23 cities.
Right. That's awesome. Well, we'll look forward to seeing all the publicity on that and being there for sure. So tell us a little bit about, do you do some DJing as well? Or was that an old bit of a fun job you used to do?
Yeah, so one of the businesses that I invested in and then bought was a dance studio. We teach salsa dancing. We'll teach about 5,000 people a year how to dance salsa. It's how I met my wife. And I still like to go dancing and DJing as well. So it's tied into that business. So if you need a salsa DJ, let me know.
Right. Cool. That's very cool. Okay, so Evan, we're going to make sure that everyone has all the links and all some inspirational quotes from you. We're going to put those together as some inspiration for them. Do you have any final words to the audience, really, in terms of just some words of inspiration about going out there and doing something amazing like you are, and about having the mindset to just keep going and achieve what they want? Because I think there's a lot of people that are really they're on the path, but they're not really doing what they truly want to do. Do you have any words of advice for those people?
Yeah, I'm gonna two-step this advice. I think if you're really deep in the hole, if you're really hating on life, if you're listening to this interview, you're probably not quite that low right now. But if you experience those moments of being just super crazy low, I think it's really hard to think about a better future, a better life. You might say, that's all BS. That's never gonna happen for me. If you're just in a really dark place, I would say as step one, just you need to get out of that negative hole. The best ways that I found is one, through music. Just put on music there's no magic song, just any song that makes you move, any song that when it comes on, you feel happy, you want to dance a little bit. Often I think when we feel sad, we put on sad music, and that just makes everything even worse. So try to jolt your system, put on some good music. Whether you need to go take out, go for it in the sun, do some meditation, play with your cat, like whatever brings you joy. If you are incapable right now of thinking about a better life for yourself, it just seems too far away and it's not going to happen for you. You need to just get back to zero, get back to baseline, and whatever you need to do to feel positive,
Right.
do it.
Mm.
If you're already at that, I'm positive, I'm thinking about a better life, I don't know how to do it. I would say make sure that you make today count. I think we have a lot of we have impatience for the results, but we have a lot of patience for ourselves. We want results to happen right now. We want to get immediate results. We want to make the money. We want to have that. We want to. You're chasing the results, but then you're super patient with yourself. It's like, well, I'll do that tomorrow. It's okay. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that in an hour. And I want you to flip it. Successful people flip it. You have patience for the results. If you want to start a podcast or a YouTube show or write a book or whatever it is, have patience. Like it may take you 3 years for that to happen, but then massive impatience with yourself. Like this has to happen today. Like today, this has to happen. I'm going to do my best today. I go into every day thinking, I want my grandkids to see the work that I'm doing. I want to be proud of every interview that I do. I want my grandkids to watch this interview. Hello, Richard. Like I want my grandkids to see this interview. That's my intention going in. It doesn't mean that I'm always going to be able to bring it. Like it may not be my best work, but it's always my intention. And if that is your intention, if you can go into every day making work that you want to be proud of, that when your head hits the pillow and say, I was proud of the work I did today, making work that you want your grandkids to see every day, then even though each day may not be the best, I guarantee you, if you did that every life, 1 year from today would be unrecognizable from where you are right now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it is those daily incremental, like little steps. It's a long road. It's a long road for some of us, but that little step further each day is definitely the way ahead. Every day counts. Yeah, that's awesome advice. Thank you. Okay, Evan, well, thank you so much for taking the time today. We're going to make sure everyone has all the links and information so they can reach out to you and watch you daily and be totally inspired. I think it's awesome, the work that you're doing. You're kind of so wise, like for a young guy. I mean, really, it's so inspiring to listen to you and watch you every day. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. On behalf of everybody, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. All right, and have an awesome day.
Thank you for the love. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.